Hello, see this big girl? She goes all the way to my ceiling. She's huge. She has some problems. I don't know if you could tell. Here, I will stabilize it, and I'm trying to stabilize it. Okay, I'm going to turn her so you see the issue. When I bought this pot October 2nd of last year, she had two plants, and they were both about this size, but they were only about 18 inches tall. And this one got larger for a while, and then all of a sudden, it just started disintegrating. It's barely got 3 leaves. It used to always have 8 leaves, and this thing has just gotten gigantic. So the one plant, because it's root bound in that pot, it's been in that 6-inch pot since I bought it. Now, I did repot it. I did. I dumped it out because it was full of coco coir. I put it on a wick and I gave it pond. And it's been growing gangbusters. But today it needs to come out, and I'm going to remove that second plant right here. So normally, and I'm moving it into, it's in a 6-inch pot. And I'm going to move it into an 8-inch pot. And here's another one of those pots. So you can see it's a little bit of an upsize. And normally I would just lift it into the new pot and add more around it and call it good. But because I need to remove that, it's going to be a little more involved. So I'm going to move the camera back, and we're going to get this started. And hopefully the camera doesn't cut out. But if it does, I am right on the cusp of getting some better camera equipment. I just bought a new computer. Still trying to figure out how to get it set up. But anyway, it's eventually going to happen. This little Sure Shot is not a sure thing, and it cuts out at a certain point. So I don't know what's in here. I have no clue. And we're going to lay this girl on her side. I'm going to try and make some room. And by the way, okay, don't fall over. That's her other problem. She's ready to fall over. I'm going to do another video for you. Oh my God, these plants are so big. I had to turn off the fan so I didn't decapitate them, but do you see that hot mess? Look close. It barely even goes into the pot. That plant really needs a repot. And it jumped out of its pot and grew into the reservoir. This one has not, interestingly. So here's what. Whoa, it's pretty light. It's a short little pot. Whoa, okay, I'm making a mess. That's expected. And, alright, Sabrina, now let's turn you around. Okay, I am going to loosen this. See? No roots coming out the bottom. So, let's see what we can do for this girl. Do you have my potting mat in view? Let me make sure you do. You're not here to stare at a curtain. Which, by the way, I know I keep promising this room's going to get redone, but this room was floor to ceiling for 16 years, boxes. And I cleaned it out a year ago, turned it into a plant room, but apparently I didn't finish the job because this whole wall is all my canning supplies, and they are leaving. But I don't know, have you guys ever had a project you want to do? And we're going to put this plant on the floor and get him out of our way. Have you ever had a project, but it has to wait for another project that's waiting on another project? That's kind of the situation here. Okay, so I am just going to cut this wick. As you can see, I got a new wick, and I have lava in the bottom for both weight and to block the holes. The holes on these 8-inch pots are really large. And the leca just falls through. So I like putting this big lava in there. But, well, here the surgery begins. Just trying to not injure her. She's one of my favorite plants. I gotta say, this plant is so hardy. Everybody can get spider mites. This thing just never, she's never sick a day. She's never sick. You wouldn't even know she has spider mites unless you get close with a magnifying glass. Well, she broke the bottom of her pot. And she is root bound. Oh my goodness, I don't even know how I'm going to separate her. Oh, see? I did not like sneak ahead and try and recreate this. This is a problem. And I don't, you know, I would just, oh, it's coming apart, yay! Normally I would just be like, okay, I don't care, we'll just cut this plant off, but then you have roots rotting in it. Okay. Alright, this is a whole different project. I'm just going to lay her over here. Let's just lay you on the floor, we will take care of you. And so what luck. What luck. That just slid right out the side, and you can see why it was growing so small. This plant had taken over the whole pot. It had completely taken over. Now let's see. And I want to set it down in there, so I'm not even going to put any leca. And I don't want it soggy all the way to the top. So I am just going to, I'm going to put some of its own soil back in here. I'm going to put the wick on top so it has instant access to water. There you go, girl. Let's push you like this. We want you as straight up as possible. Okay. I'm going to try and give you your own soil back as much as I can. And don't fall. I was not prepared. I've not done a big repot in a while. Okay, I'm just going to have to keep dumping stuff in. But I want to put some systemic granules. So I've been thinking a long time, having a lot of conversations with my husband. Alright, plant, quit moving. No! Sorry. About letting you know what products I'm using to get a handle on spider mites. And the problem is, I recommended a product to somebody. Well, they asked me what I was using in my yard, and I told them, and then, you know, years later we find out that people are claiming that that product causes cancer. And I was the bad guy. So, I don't know what the long-term, I do not know what the long-term side effects are of all these chemicals. I have no clue. So I really don't want to recommend any product. I hear people say, oh, this one's fine because you know what? They say, it's in your dog's flea stuff. This is true. This is so true. But you know what? That doesn't mean that we know for a fact that it's not going to cause some problems. This is just chunky zeolite I'm adding into this. So, no, you don't, plant. So, I am not promoting any product. I have two pieces of advice. One, I use a systemic. Let me get that plant away from my leaf. I use a systemic. I'm adding it right now. I may die of cancer someday from it. I don't know. I don't use it outside, only in the plants. I try to not touch it once that junk is in it. And when it comes to mites, I have never had thrips, mealybugs. I've never had anything except spider mites. And here's my other piece of advice. I was going organic, using neem. And who even knows how safe neem is? Who knows? But I made quite a few generations of mites resistant to neem by just using neem. And it got to the point where I would completely scrub and spray my plants. And in 24, 48 hours, they would be covered with a hatch out and webs. I was losing my marbles. So, my advice is don't use one product again and again and again when it comes to spider mites. I'm now rotating 3 products, and I finally caught a break, and the plants are thriving. And I'm not seeing bugs crawling all over my stuff. So this has been a bad year indoors and out for the spider mites here. I mean, the whole neighborhood, there's dead trees everywhere. I've never seen it like this before. The weather's been weird. It's been dry. It's been hot. It's just been weird. Okay, I like to top all my plants with crushed granite. And the reason being is I found that it is the best way to keep the gnats away. The gnats are everywhere. They're endemic. They're flying around. And I got sticky tape everywhere. I used mosquito bits till I'm blue in the face. I mean, I found that the best thing is Bonide stops the eggs from hatching. But this stuff, just throwing some crushed granite on top, they have no interest in it. They just don't even bother and they move on. And I knocked the population in the house down by about 99%. I set one plant in here with cocoa coir from a greenhouse, and overnight I had a swarm of them, and I had to set up some fly traps, and I repotted that plant immediately. Problem gone. So I use crushed granite to keep away the gnats. I use systemic granules to keep everything except the arachnids, the spider mites, away, and I rotate at least 3 different chemicals on the spider mites every other month. A new chemical, or you create generations of resistant bugs. And I have bug-free plants. I got it dialed in. So that was it. Let me back this up. There she is. Yay, all beautiful. I will water her in. I will give her a reservoir, a cache pot. Here we go. Pretty Sabrina. And I just want to thank you for joining me on this, because I really had no clue how this girl was going to turn out. Look how pretty that looks. There won't be any gnats there. Isn't she beautiful? I recommend this plant to anyone, especially beginners. This and a I can't, my brain's not working right now. This was our very first alocasia. The Amazonica, I went back to the store and got, but I got this for my husband. We saw him at the Home Depot, fell in love, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting that for you. And I got it home, and I went back, and I got the Amazonica. and no regrets. The Amazonica, I'm not even going to go there. That thing has been such a spider mite nightmare, but I still got her. I got it under control on her, but we have a love-hate relationship. Anyway, thank you for joining me on this repot, and I'm going to share my anthurium repots. See all these anthurium? Let's see if I can undo this. The anthurium are growing like crazy, and I found that the bigger, my plant room's a mess. The faster I get them into a new pot, the faster they grow. And they're just going nuts. And here's the new leaf that I just got on this plant. And I think I've had it for 6 months. What's the date on it? What's the date? March. And we're in August. So 5 months. 5 months tomorrow, I will have had that from a little tiny seedling. And again, here's its newest leaf. It's just a seed-grown crystallinum. And, oh, and over here, excuse the mess, I'm going to break my neck. My Warwick, oh, this is my dark form crystallinum. I've had it since, I think, March. And look what my Warwickianum just gave me. This gorgeous leaf. And you could see how much bigger it is than the last one. Well, they're actually close, but this one is still growing. It's not hardened off yet. So, and I finally got my first semi-mature one on Beachy Eye. So anyway, again, thank you for joining me. And I hope you join me to repot that root-bound Portadora. Have a great evening, you guys. Signing out.